Welcome back, YouTube. It has been a minute since I posted a video, but here we are once again with the Gallardo. It is here in the Pacific Northwest, the middle of winter, and you know what that means. It is time for winter maintenance and upgrades. As you can see, I've got some goodies. Like I said, I know it's been a little while since I posted a video, but be rest assured I have been hard at work. Just haven't gotten around to the videos. Actually, just had the ECUs in this car tuned by Mr. Alex Gintani. I will get a video of that up at some point and show you guys a little bit of that process. I've got a few maintenance things to take care of and tackle. I've got a bunch of hoses and fittings. We're going to be doing some silicone coolant lines for the coolant reservoir in the car this winter. I've got all sorts of goodies. O'Toole, genuine filter, get the annual oil change, got some coolant. All sorts of stuff and little projects going, like I said. But today we got something really cool. Should be fairly quick and easy, and this is all for aesthetics. I'm not gonna lie, I've already cheated and opened up. I couldn't resist when this stuff came the other night. I had to check it out. So get it unboxed here real quick and show you guys what we got going here. So this car is 21 years old. This is my 04 Gallardo if you're new to the channel. If you've been following for a while, you know I've been doing a little bit of cleanup back here. We installed the carbon fiber air boxes, the orange silicone intake hoses. We're going to freshen it up in a really big way today. We're going to be replacing all the engine compartment panels with carbon fiber set. And as you guys can see, I got a little ahead of myself. I already started pulling things apart where I realized I wanted to do a video about this. Really, if you guys haven't pulled any of this stuff apart before, it's just these little hex bits all over the place, and these all come out. Like I said, this is 21 years old. It's aged a little bit. I don't know if the camera will pick up a little bit of discoloration to it. You can see back in these sensitive areas, you know, the little tabs are split and broke. And this plastic, I don't know if they all come this way or if it's just mine. It has, I don't know if the camera's picking up, a bit of a deep green hue to it. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't do the car justice, doesn't really seem fancy. So I found an, we'll call it inexpensive carbon set, direct from China. And that's what we're going to throw in here today. Everybody likes really good before and after, so we'll get a good before photo here before we really tear into it here. So like I said, I cheated. I already opened this up, and it's a good thing I did. This stuff was packaged extremely well. Took me quite a bit of time just to get it unwrapped, so it saves a lot of time here with the video to be able to just drag it out a little cleaner for you. Like I said, this stuff came direct from Hong Kong. I searched all over to try and find the best value for the dollar when it came to one of these kits, and admittedly there's not a whole lot out there on the market right now, especially US products. I reached out to a couple of the well-known vendors. Some talked about having it custom made for me, and I can only imagine what that costs. You know, I do everything on a budget. So I found these. They're for sale on eBay. I've seen them for sale on AliExpress. The company is, as you can see on their tape, is Faithfulrainbow.com, direct from Hong Kong. And admittedly, I've been really surprised so far. The quality of these is pretty decent. There's not visually a whole lot of flaws with them. We'll see what fitment looks like here as we go. And shipping was a little bit on the expensive side, I thought. However, they came in 2 separate shipments, and the first shipment came 6 days after I placed the order all the way here to the US, and the second one came a day later, so 7 days total to have all 4 pieces. They were super responsive via email once I reached out to them. Their website didn't have a whole lot of pricing and information, so I reached out and sent an email, and they were really responsive, got back with me once or twice a day answering my questions, and actually gave me a pretty decent deal on the price. I think all in it was like $1,500 for the set. roughly $1,700 after shipping and all that. So there are the pieces all laid out. Super anxious to get this in the engine bay. It's going to be a night and day difference over that green stuff. So let's get some of those pieces out. Visually, I can compare them and things look okay. There's a few subtle differences that jump out at me right away, but once we can compare them to some of the actual pieces, see how the fitment is, that will be the telltale sign for this stuff. But again, if you're interested, it was faithfulrainbow.com. Alright guys, so if you haven't pulled these panels out before, like I said, it's super easy. You'll go around, you'll pull all these little Torx bits out. Like I said, I've already done this here, and then these panels will just kind of pop right on out of here. Not a whole lot to it. As we do that real quick, we can kind of compare pieces. These couple subtle differences with this one right away. Obviously these holes here in the back have not been drilled yet. We'll see if we need to do that. And the shape here is a little bit different where the latch goes, so that might need a little bit of tweaking or adjusting to fit. We'll see. Other than that, all the other holes, everything seems to line up really well. So hopefully that will be a quick, smooth install. If you haven't pulled out the side panels before, I suggest getting a little something. I use this adjustable broom handle I got to help prop this up and help hold the weight as you disassemble those struts. I just use a little 90-degree pick. Pick that little bracket off, and these things just kind of pop right off. You pull them out of the way. And these are going to be a 13 millimeter. To pull that off of there. Like I said, I've already got the other Torx bits out, so this one is good and loose already. And you can get this pulled out as well. We can line this one up as well. Now, if you can see, that holes are really close, if not completely perfect. And that's laying one on top of the other. Everything looks really nice. I noticed the hole isn't drilled in the back of the tail piece here, where the factory ones are broken. Maybe that creates a weak point. I may or may not drill that when we install the new piece here, the carbon pieces. Important to note, I know these are just plastic, so they're a light, flimsy little piece, but it's hard to show in a video, obviously, but the carbon pieces weigh a fraction of what the plastic do. Even they're just super lightweight. Not a lot to them at all. So I'll speed this up, guys. I'm going to get the other two panels yanked out here. We got one more on the left side, and of course up on the firewall. Then we can try and get the new carbon stuff installed here. Alright, so here it is, all set. I've got the carbon pieces laying on top of the factory pieces. And so far, just visually holding things up, everything looks like a really good fit. Everything's lining up really well. I see no reason that this shouldn't go in without only minor modification. We'll see if we run into other hiccups as we go in. Important to note, before you get started, might want to, and I'm going to take the time here, take these little U-nuts off of your factory pieces and get them in place on your new pieces before you get started. So we'll go ahead and we'll start with the firewall piece here, and we'll work our way down the sides and to the back, getting this installed. I almost forgot, real quick, I do want to point out, and luckily they knew about it and pointed it out for me, so I didn't make a mistake. There are a couple different styles of these. I don't know if they changed in 06 because it's 04, 05, maybe be slightly different, because I know the coolant reservoir is slightly different. So there are two different side pieces depending on which one you need. One's actually a bit shorter than mine, being the longer one with the smaller coolant reservoir. And the firewall pieces were a little bit different shaped, the early version versus a squared off, I'm assuming later version. So important to note which version you have, or discuss that with them before you place an order. Alright guys, so we got the firewall piece of carbon fiber in. Probably the most difficult piece, just because it's a little bit of a tight fit. Just be patient and finagles it in back there. And it was a perfect fit. I didn't have to elongate holes. I didn't have to fight it. It literally bolted right in there. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on the side panels now, in no particular order. Throw this protective stuff on there or not. I guess we can stick it on for now, just in case things decide to chafe. And once we've got it in, probably gonna take a little bit of finesse to get all the holes to line up just so, but so you can see it looks really nice in there. So let me see if I can get that squared away. We are halfway there. So a little bit of finessing. One thing I realized, obviously I thought I looked at it, but until I got it up in there, I did have to drill the top hole for this one. For some reason that hole wasn't there, but once I got that in, it went all smooth, and you can see it's tucked in there and fit, and it's really nice. And it appears I'm gonna have to do the same here. Now that I look at this side, hole there, factory, not one here. So I'm just lining them up and drilling that little hole out, and then we'll see if we can get the right side in here, and it should be smooth sailing from there. And I will note, I do just lightly get everything finger started before I snug anything down. That way when you have to poke and tweak on things, it doesn't become an issue. Right, so there's the right side all fit into place, and not that either of them were hard. They don't fit quite exactly like factory, just a little bit off, just a little bit of finessing. Maybe the plastic's a little more flexible than the carbon. Maybe that's what I'm running into. The right side went in a little bit easier than the left side, not that either of them were hard. And onto the final piece. It's already looking 100% better. What a huge difference back here. So there it is, guys, final piece of the puzzle installed. Battery died right as I was trying to put this thing in. So one little thing I'll point out with this back panel, I remember I pointed out was a little bit different back here, and that was to clear the latch here for the hood. As you can see, I point that out, a little bit of a dog leg here, and that was to accommodate that. This piece didn't have that, and they didn't offer me another option for this panel like they did the other panels that were slightly different. So I ended up having to actually notch this out a little bit, blended it in, touched up with some paint. You really can't tell if you didn't know what it was supposed to look like. So anyway, after that, it was a pretty decent fit. One thing I will note with the carbon fiber, it is not as flexible, a little more rigid than the plastic is, so it became a little bit more difficult to line things up. I had already secured the sides, had to re-go through, pretty much loosen everything up so that you can get the holes to align it properly. You know, these were really close to the factory panels as far as all the holes go, other than the couple up there that I had to drill. But other than that, I think the pieces are just so rigid. They're not flexible like the plastic, so it made it a little bit more difficult to line up. Other than that, it looks absolutely fantastic. What a huge night and day difference. Give you guys a good before and after photo here. Alright guys, it's the next day and we just happened to wake up some beautiful sunshine, so I'm super anxious, even though it's ridiculously cold out here this morning. A little bit of frost out here, it's like 20 something degrees. I'm gonna fire this thing up, I'm gonna pull it out here in the sunshine. I want to get a look at that carbon fiber and show it off in the sunshine real quick. Anyway, thanks for joining me, you guys. You know, it's been a little while since I posted a video. Like I said, I've got several more projects to come. Definitely need to get to work this winter before spring pops its head up around the corner. I also forgot, I do have a couple of Aventador style paddles, shift paddles coming from Rev 10 Performance to review. I'll do a full install video and a review of those as soon as I get them. They should be here really soon. They were off the powder coat last I checked with them. So yeah, really anxious to get those in there and do away with those little plastic dog legs we got going on. You guys know most of these leave something to be desired. So yeah, we'll take care of that. I'll definitely get a video of that. Anyway, appreciate you guys hitting that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next one.